Hello, Java Challenger. We are here in the third part of the Java Career Boost series, and I'm here with Jefferson. And in this video, he's gonna make some career questions to me, and I'm gonna do my best to answer him. So, hello, Jefferson. How are you?
Hi, Rafa. Finding you.
Very good. Thank you so much. Do you have questions to me about your career?
Yes, I many questions because I see in the last video I think about the many things when you start your career. Actually, the first question I think about how did you achieve discipline and constance when you start your career?
So, when I started my career, was pain that motivated me because basically in the beginning I was working for a telemarketing company and it was that end job. So I wasn't even studying IT. So my salary was very low. Every day I was getting public buses, right? I was going to work by bus and it was always extremely busy. I didn't even have a seat in the bus. So it would take 1 hour to go, 1 hour to go back. And I noticed that, okay, like I have two options here. Either I stay in this horrible situation with a dead end job that will give me no future, no money, and I won't even be able to buy basic stuff for my survival. I wouldn't even be able to have a home. I wouldn't be able at all to buy a home for me. I said, okay, I can't continue living like that. This is a dead end job. My life will be horrible if I stay in this job. So I need to make the move now. Can't wait anymore. And that was my motivation. It was pain, right? It was so painful to be there, to have no money to invest in my future. And I knew that I would be wasting my time there. And it wasn't a career, it was just a job where I was wasting my time. Well, not only wasting my time because at least I learned some sales techniques, but not nothing very fancy or nothing very sophisticated. But so yeah, that was a motivation. And then with this pain I had, I was able to study 4 or 5 hours a day outside of my college because I managed to leave my job. So I had some money. I even though my salary was very low, I managed to save some money. Then I was able to not work for at least 6 months. And then during those 6 months, I thought to myself, hey, like I was already, I wasn't very young. I was 21 years old. So it took me a while to start my college degree.
You
But I said,
started
hey,
the you started your career with technology 21 years?
yes,
Oh, I think it's
yes.
more young. I like me, I young, 13, 14 years when they start with technology. But you have a 20 year, 29 years Java champion. 9 years?
Yeah, I think it was 28. I was
20.
28. Yeah, but I always
Congratulations.
liked technology. I had
Congratulations.
my computer. I was always curious about programming. I was curious about creating some simple web pages. So even though I didn't start the college, I was always curious about IT and I was doing some running some tests on my computer. I tried to do some simple programs. I was even trying to create a small RPG game. So there was a software back in the days called RPG Maker. It was very interesting because I was programming and I didn't know that I was doing that because on this program there was Visual Basic behind the scenes. So I could handle variables. I didn't know what was variables, but I was, for example, I was counting how many times a character would open a chest. And I was using variables to do that. And I didn't know those were programming concepts and something that we use every day as programmers. So I was using events, I was using for loopings. It's interesting that I had no idea that the a programming language would be pretty much the same. So it's not that I didn't do anything before with technical stuff. I was doing it because, but not very low level. I wouldn't learn, for
Understand.
example, algorithms and coding. Then, because I had some time not working, I could boost my studies. And I said, okay, since I have this kind of disadvantage because I was starting late, I will study a lot. And then I said, okay, I want to get out of that life and I will focus here. 5 hours a day, 4 hours a day, I would study. And I would focus on programming. Obviously, like that time it was different, right? It's different when you have this motivation, like it's a very strong motivation. Like when you have a painful job and you're young, man, that's very strong. Like you have this is an expression we use in Brazil, but you are with blood in your eyes. Like you want to make it happen, and you will make it happen no matter what. You're gonna do it, and that was my feeling back in the days. So obviously the situation changes, right? After I got my job as a Java developer, then things got easier. I had less time, obviously, after getting a job because I was doing the college course and I was also working, so I was doing both. And during this time, I didn't have much time to study, but I was also doing a course. Like on Sundays, I would use my whole Sunday to do a course because I really wanted to grow in my career fast. I knew that I needed to do the extra work because of the time I wasted. I wouldn't say wasted, but if I'd started my developer career before, like when I was a bit younger, I would grow. I didn't need to rush so much. But I did the sacrifice, and like on the during the weekends, I was doing courses and doing Java courses, Java EE, JSF. I was reading the Java certification book. So I was focusing on those concepts. And then after that, then life happens, and then you need some strategies to be more consistent. Then I started learning about Pomodoro. I learned a lot more about personal development. It's something that I never learned so much back in the days. Like back in the days, it was pain, my main motivation. Like I didn't know much about personal development. It was just pain moving me to achieve my goals. And I know that pain is the most powerful motivation, but it doesn't need to be like that, right? It could be something that you really want in your life. It could be something that, oh, I really want to achieve that. Let me plan. What actions can I take to get there? So then when I started learning more about personal development, I learned that it's not only technical skills. And that was a big mistake I was making in my career. I was thinking, oh, only technical skills, I will study and I will grow. And that was a big mistake because developers who are technically less prepared than me, they were earning the double, the triple, a lot more than me. They were getting promoted before than me. And I had no idea that the difference between them and me were that they had their soft skills more developed than me. And then I changed my strategy and I started learning more about personal development. I started reading books and then I learned how to manage my time as well. So one thing that I learned to manage my time and to stay consistent, to do the things I plan to do, even in the days I don't feel like it. It's basically to trust the process. Like is to do something for a while, at least for 1 year at a minimum, and see how it goes. The problem is that like many developers, they like faith, and then they start doing the work for 1 week, 1 month, they see no results, and then they stop. But it doesn't take only 1 month. It takes at least 1 year. I would say 5 years, right? Depending on your goal, right? Obviously, it depends on your goal. Like 5 years, you can achieve a really crazy big goal. You can change completely your life in 5 years. You can decide, hey, I'm gonna be a pilot. You can definitely become a pilot in 5 years. I assure you. But obviously, you need to make a decision, right? I would say that once you make a decision, stick to it. Don't change. Don't go there and there. Just choose this path and go for it, at least for 1 year.
Okay.
And one technique I use that helps me a lot is Pomodoro. Pomodoro is amazing. It's amazing because then I can track down my progress. I can see exactly how much time I've been investing in my career growth or in my goals.
Isso toca one point. You talk about curiosity. It's 1 minute for talk about this. I am people very interested about all things. Example, I learn about mechanical. I have certificate in mechanical. I learn about agronomics. I think I certificate or in study for the MBA in agronomics. I play chess. I play in the other things. In the when you're using the curiosity for learning, it's great because you know about all things, but to spend time is great because yeah, one focus, one thing, you have more time because you are don't spend time when you're like I when I young, I very curiosity. I started play guitar. I started study mechanical. I started study philosophy. I think it's I spend more spend time in the things. Today it's a great because another things I using my solution because like I get many comparing the areas and using the solution, but in your career, your time spent many time in curiosity. It's a great, but it's a problem because you're consuming your time for studying about the one topic.
Yeah, and
Uh,
there's no problem about doing that because it's a way for you to have fun, right? And I think I believe that the key here is it's fine if you're curious about other things, fine, but allocate less time for your curiosity and more
uh,
time for your career.
yeah, yeah, it's a problem because you change for focus for more your love like hobbies because you are started the learning now. But so curious about your topic. This best part is in my best. About another question, I think it's a big, first congratulations, our career. You're growing 5, 6 years or so. You're very fast. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Another question, I think, how did you start your big dream and what are the steps until you got there?
Yeah, so my first big dream was to move abroad and to work as a software developer, as a Java developer abroad. So I decided that I was going to work abroad in 2010. So basically, right after I started the college degree, I decided I'm going to work abroad and that's it. That's final. Because I wanted other experiences. I wanted to grow more in my career. Obviously, I wanted to earn more as well. So I knew that by working abroad, I would have this opportunity. And when I decided that, I started doing English courses. So I was doing in person English courses and I was practicing English in my job. We created the English Day, which was a day that we would be talking in English during lunch, only in English. I think people thought we were crazy or that we were from other country. I don't know what people were thinking about, but I really didn't care because my goal was more important than what other people were thinking about me. So I adopted some habits and some actions. I had a plan to get prepared to go abroad. So I was getting more technical challenges and I was learning more and more about English. I was learning about grammar, conversation. I was having conversation classes. I was listening to podcasts and books in English. So I was getting prepared for the challenge. So
One question about this. In this moment, you stop your constancy with technical study or no? You maintain your hours of study more English or no? In this moment, my step, it's a dedication for English. It's a moment or no?
no, I was doing both. I was
Okay.
always studying technical subjects, but the thing I did, I mixed the technical studies with English. So I was studying technical stuff in English. Every time I was researching for a code solution, I would search in English. And I was watching technical courses in English as well. So I started basically turning the key because I knew that if I was researching content in Portuguese, I would never evolve with my English skills. I knew I would have to go out of my comfort zone. And I forced myself to go out of my comfort zone as much as possible so that I could get better with English and technically. So that's what I did.
How long did this last?
Because I started in 2010, it took a while until I moved abroad was 7 years.
7 years. You start
Yeah.
You're prepared in the English in the technical study for 7 years. They start and finish your get the work abroad.
Yes, but I started basically from scratch.
Okay. No, what about the because this I talk about I when I talk I think 1 year, 2 year because your focus English is totally. Então, because I talk. But it's okay. Java champion, it's a big dream or no? What are the steps to become a Java champion?
Yeah, but definitely that was another big dream. It's something very rare and difficult to achieve, considering that there are only 300, around 350 people in the world
Yes, yes.
who achieved this title. Is
Select
very
list.
difficult. It's a very selective list, yes. Well, basically, you need to create an impact to the Java community consistently. To first have a focus on something connected with Java and to be sharing this content and impacting the Java community consistently. So there are many ways you can be a jug leader. So if you Java Challenger don't know what's jug leader is Java user group leader. And by being a jug leader, you're already impacting the Java community, right? But you have to do that in English because all the Java champions, they give talks in English. They use English, or you can write a book, or you can contribute to open source projects. That's what Otavio Santana did. So Otavio is one of the biggest open source contributors. So he got a lot of visibility by doing that. Or you can have courses, or you can have a very popular Java blog. You can create a framework. There are many Java champions who created frameworks. Or you can create Java features. Basically, if you create an impact consistently with the Java community, and obviously you have to get the visibility of the Java champions, then you get the chance of being nominated, right? So basically, to be nominated as a Java champion, you have to be among the Java champions, right? You have to get to know them. They have to know what work you are doing, what's your work, what impact you are doing with the Java community. And there are ways to do that, right? You can do that through the social media, or you can go to conferences and give a talk in English, meet those Java champions, talk to them, get to know them. And then eventually you will become a Java champion as well. And you have to have faith as well, right? You have to take the action to get your work visible. And the only way to make your work visible is to be consistent. I know this is difficult, but you have to trust the process.
A big question, eh? How did you feel? Was it what you expected about this? Like work outside the country abroad and Java champion. How did you feel?
So what do you mean exactly? You mean that if I was expecting
I think
to
yeah,
get a job abroad?
you talk about your history, your trajectory, and the example you have a pen, they don't have a money in the start of your career. It's very difficult for you, but you spend 7 or 10 years dedicated constantly for this. And so, okay, it's a get money, it's a get your house. It's very good. Okay, it's very question. It's about the life, but it's always you don't. I don't know. Yeah, you are expectations, but you don't do many things what you are love. I think you don't know. In the time, your 10 years is a constant study. The weekend, it's a main time. How did you feel about the final? It's I work abroad. I get the again for Brazil. No, it's a love example. The country I live now example. And about your Java champions, it's a good. I confidence. Okay, it's a. What you feel? How do you feel?
How do I feel about achieving my goal of working abroad
Yes,
and
yes,
becoming a Java champion?
yes. About the years study, I think.
Well, it was an amazing feeling, right? It was like the
It
feeling
was,
that
which was worth it. The 10 years, I think.
definitely, yeah, it
Okay.
was definitely worth it. Yeah. So it was mixed feelings, right? It was the feeling of relief because I got my first job here as a Java developer. It was the feeling of mission accomplished. That was the feeling I had, mission accomplished.
Okay. It's a feel. I talk. It's a okay. Confidence. It's a sentiment. I think about the feel.
Fulfillment,
Yeah.
fulfillment, confidence,
Yeah.
yeah, confidence
Okay.
boost, obviously. And it was also the feeling that now I have to handle and now I have to take the challenge and I have to make it. I have no other option.
You go back to Brazil or no? It's Java Chimp, I think it's a okay response answer. Agora, e about the Brazil? You're like living today in the outside?
Yeah, I like living here because I have my autonomy here. I have my independence. Not that I couldn't have that in Brazil. I could. It would be more difficult because my salary was lower, but here I got a property. So here I have access to good jobs. I'm constantly practicing my English as well. It's which is something important for me. So obviously it's not all perfect here, right? There are also things I don't like, such as the weather. Like in the winter, it's cold. Most of the days are gray. It rains quite a bit, and the food is not that good here, unless you cook, right? If you cook, it's fine. But the food in Brazil is much better. Like it's just because of culture, right? The culture here, it's the culture of practicity. So they rather be practical in their food rather than cooking hours like us in Brazil. Well, we don't need to cook hours, but we put more effort on cooking because we like to eat good food. It's just cultural. Like countries like Portugal, Greece, or Spain, all of those countries, they have the culture
Mm.
of cooking more. So I definitely miss the food. Obviously, in my family,
Yes,
the
because
first.
I've asked the key of question because I have some friends who went, but they always say they in their age, their old age, they won't come back. So my question is, it's because this my question it's if it was worth it because I have one doubt. Uh, when you are stay more old, it's the most important the people you live and have when I return, I will be able to create an environment of friends to have a nice life like I might have had before I left. This is a question because it is your big dreams. I go outside, but when I think 15 years, 20 years, when you are back, the environment change. The people you are talking the past don't live in the same the example, but it's one thing because it's our big dream, your experience, your live it is outside what your experience, what your because the phrase was worth it because this.
Yeah, it was worth it. So your question is about relationships,
Mm.
friends.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so regarding friends, I don't think we need so many friends. And if we have many friends, for sure, like it's a shallow relationship. So I prefer to have few friends and a deeper relationship where we can talk about where we can have deep conversations, not only shallow and just going to a bar or a pub or whatever, having conversation about the news. I don't even like to watch the news very much because in my opinion, the news drain our energy because there are lots of disasters in the world and I don't want my energy to be drained. And it's impossible for me to change those things. So what's the point of hearing the news or watching the news only to have my energy drained? There's no point. I prefer focusing on my goals and getting them done. And regarding having friends, well, nowadays with internet as well, we can have friends anywhere in the world. I have friends not only in Dublin, in many places in the world, and I choose my friends very carefully. So I would generally avoid having a friend that has the victim mindset. I choose to have friends where they will motivate me and push me to be better. If I notice that there is a friend that is sabotaging my goals, I will usually cut the the relationship because for me it's very important will push me to be better and to grow. And to have those kind of friends, it's not the friends that you find in a pub. It's also good. Don't get me wrong here. Like sometimes it's good to have friends that you're gonna just have some good time and you're gonna have some fun. Like from time to time, yes. But if we hang out with people who don't care about growth, who are lazy, who are always going out and wasting their time, we're gonna become like them. So that's dangerous. So I that's why I prefer to hang out with friends who will push me to be better.
okay.
So
It makes sense. It's a problem for me. I mean, it's makes sense. When I talk, it's one question about this, like a big dream for me, I mean, speaker. And I also ask this because become a Java champion and speaker open doors to very interested people to meet, and maybe this will help you with this alive outside of country and to talk and more changing the people's are friends, like you're changing affinity like friends. Okay, don't like so friends about the Java. Okay, but your the people's more interest like you talk it's a grow it's a people's for understand and learn example the speaker like you are today open doors for people's I think it's a different because do também.
definitely open doors. Yeah, when you're a Java champion, it's easier to get your talk accepted. Doesn't guarantee though that your talk will be
Yeah,
accepted.
okay.
It might be rejected as anyone, but it is definitely easier. If you have the title of Java champion, it's easier. And again, the title Java champion doesn't mean that you know everything. No one knows all technologies, and that's okay. You don't need to know everything to be a Java champion. You need to impact the Java community, and you need to be consistent on creating this impact. And obviously, you have to talk about Java. Basically, Java champions are the ones who are championing the Java programming language. So basically, if someone says something ignorant about Java, it's our role as Java champions to say, hey, maybe you are talking about Java 1.5. So maybe you should update yourself to Java 22
Okay.
or to Java 21 or whatever.
Okay.
And maybe you should know more about the modern technologies around
I
Java,
think
not Java
I
1.5.
I think it also only Java change, but on speaker, and I think it's a change your way of the talk with the people because this I talk open doors. Speakers get confidence and able you are talking about okay other subjects, but it's more easy for your integrate in the community, like you're talking Java community, because it's okay your experience because I have a big dream like you are and the expenses is very interesting for me.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. So what I suggest you is to start small. Give a
So,
talk in your job, then submit your talk to Java as a group, then you go to a conference, or maybe you can even give a talk on your YouTube channel. Like, why not doing a live video on your YouTube channel? Like, you have lots of expertise. There's nothing preventing you to give a live, even if it is a live for one person. If you can help one person, that's more than enough, right? I didn't care. Like when I started giving talks, I was lucky that there was a lot of people. But yeah, sometimes I did a live video on YouTube and there would be no one, like at maybe one person. But I did it anyway because there was one person, like I could help one person. And what makes you win the game, it's not, uh, those battles that it seems that you are losing. It's the whole war, right? So have to think on the long term because if you keep doing it consistently, you're gonna get a lot better.
thank you. What a journey from the begin to end and a lot of dedication, constance. Congratulations. I have many experience for sure.
Thank you so much, Jefferson. It's very kind words from you, and yeah, I'm happy that we could have this conversation and we could discuss about your career challenges. And I hope you, Java Challenger, that you could get some insights from this conversation. And that's pretty much it.
Bye
So see you
bye.
then. Cheers. Bye bye.